Good day, hello, Sanbonani, Dumelang, Absheni. Hope that everybody's doing great. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and to subscribe so that you may get more videos in future. Now, on today's episode, I want to talk about a very special book. The book of books, the greatest book ever written, the book that has everything within it. A book of psychology, a book of mathematics, a book of astrology, a book of quantum physics, a book of history, a book of the future. It's science fiction, it's comedy, it's horror. That book is the body. And a little bit of what is written in the body has been written in a physical form, which we call the Holy Bible. So if I were to talk about the first book, I would literally have to make 100 episodes, but I am going to also negate it and talk about it in the form where it's written in the Bible, because you need to understand that the Bible is a reflection of all things written within the greatest book ever, which is this body. It says in Corinthians, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth where? Within you." Within you. So, these 66 books are only a fragment of all the information that is written within you that goes back the time that we cannot even measure, from the time when you first left the highest of places. It is only merely trying to capture the genesis, which is the inception of the soul into the material world, and the ascent out of the physical plane, which is revealed in Revelations. So that's what the whole Bible is about. The Bible is actually a book of psychology. It's a book of psychology that captures the journey of the hero being the soul, the son, the soul, the soul. Hence you live in a what? In a solar system. You are a soul, soul. You are the light that is trapped within this physical body. You are the sun, the sun, and you are also the son, the son. As above, so below. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, which is the body, as thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, which is the mind, the highest states. So the Bible is basically showing you how manifestation took place and how manifestation still takes place. Does it not say that as a man thinketh, so is he? Which in modern day words, or in modern day so-called new age religion, they talk about it as the law of attraction. All of that, like how I said that the Bible is a book of science, mathematics, all of that is captured within the Bible itself. The law of attraction is nothing but as a man thinketh, so is he. The way you think, or what you think of, what dominates your thoughts is what you will become. Because the internal is what we call the causal worlds. It's the cause. And what happens on the external is the effects. They say that when you pray for people in the Bible, they say when you pray for the sick, pray as if you are there with them. It also says that when you pray or ask something in my name, ask as if you already have that thing. Because according to the scripture, you already do have that thing. All things are already yours. You just now have to bring them into the state where they manifest in your reality. You are already the doctor you want to be. You are already the pilot you want to be. You are already the dancer, the singer, the businessman. You are already that which you see in your mind. You must just now pull it from the invisible worlds, which are the internal worlds, the beginnings, the genesis, which is inside, as within, so without. So you are already the thing that you want to be. You must just now pull it out. And this is what the Bible teaches you. It teaches you how you came and how you will leave. It also teaches you how you are, how you were, and how you will be, all at the same time. Now, it's a book full of parables. It says in Galatians that all which is written within here, from Abraham and his wives and his children, that these things are allegories. Now, what are allegories? Allegories are basically stories told in a way that looks like it's real characters, but the characters are not real. They actually hold or form part of a deeper teaching. It's not literal. It's like the story of the tortoise and the hare, if I may tell it quick. So it goes that there was once a race between a tortoise and a hare or a rabbit. So at the beginning line, they said, on your marks, ready, fire, go. Now the hare, being very fast, it ran so fast that when it looked back after a few minutes or so of running, it could not see the tortoise. So ahead there, it saw the finish line. And now it decided to take a little nap before it finished the race. So the tortoise, being the tortoise, came slowly, 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 slowly. And eventually it passed the hare. And so when the hare looked up, it looked back, it couldn't see the tortoise, it thought it was still ahead. It looked forward, and the hare and the tortoise was about to cross the finish line. So it ran, but it could not catch up to the tortoise. In fact, just as the tortoise passed the finish line, then only it beat it by a few meters. So now, I could tell you this story and you could think that it's literal, and you could tell it to a few other people and arguments will begin to arise, whereas people talk about what type of tortoise was it, where was the race, what type of terrain were they racing in. But you would be missing the point of the story. The point of the story is not about the literal hare or the tortoise. No, there is a moral teaching behind that. And that moral teaching is this: you may be born on a silver spoon. You may be born in a rich family. You may be born with certain advantages in life, like speed. You may be born in conditions that have set you up, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to finish the race first. That's the purpose of the story. It teaches you not to be prideful. That's pride, not to be, to beat your own chest. I'm the fastest, I'm the strongest, because the one who you are looking down upon may be the very one who finishes first due to your own arrogance. So that's the moral of the story. It's not about a literal hare nor tortoise, right? It's a deeper meaning behind that, which you are supposed to take from it. That is exactly what the whole Bible is. All of these stories are parables and allegories. In Proverbs 1, it says that, do you know how to decode the teachings of the wise, what they call the dark sayings? If you Google or look up what a dark saying is, it'll tell you it's a parable. These are parables, and it's not literal, like how I said. That's as simple as I can put it. It's not literal. Jonah going into the whale is no different from the story of the tortoise and the hare. Noah and the ark and the animals is no different from the tortoise and the hare. Jesus under the tomb is no different from the story. Daniel in the lion's den is no different. All of these stories are the same story written in different ways, telling you about your own soul, your own journey as you soul travel, or as your soul travels throughout time and relativity. Now, it says that the letter kills, but the spirit gives life. It says that in the Bible. The letter kills, but the spirit gives life. What does that mean? When you take the Bible as being a dead literal letter, it kills because now it raises arguments on was the tortoise this type of tortoise? Was the rabbit this type of tortoise? You begin to argue about the physical things. You begin to argue about who said the teachings. Is it Paul? Is it Ezekiel? No, it's not about who the people who are saying the messages, their names and their locations. It's not about that. It's about, are you getting the message? Are you getting the message within the book? So the Bible is written in an esoteric way, which is a deeper meaning. And it's written in an exoteric, or rather not written, you can interpret it as an exoteric, which is when you think that there was an actual flood and a man who built one giant boat and got all the animals, as many as they are. Like, he literally went to Australia and got the kangaroos in time, and he went to Antarctica and he got the penguins. He went to North America and got the bisons, like he just north to the North Pole and got the polar bears, and he did this in such a short amount of time. He literally got all the animals in that amount of time, 2 by 2. Noah, I respect for you, man. And people literally think that this was real. That this is real, that a man spoke to a snake, or a snake spoke to a woman and said, hey cutie, did God really tell you not to eat this apple? Did God really tell you not? Well, let me tell you. I mean, Christianity and religions, in a sense, they kill and destroy and don't allow people to use logic, because you can have doctors, people with doctorates, you can have engineers, people who are so-called high in this, who are seen as being intellectually high, still believing in the literal interpretations of that of stories such as a man was in a fish for 3 days, or that some guy was thrown in a lion's den, or some guy spoke to a burning bush. You have people literally believing that. But if today you were to do something and say that God told you and God spoke to you, the very same people who are pastors and church leaders, they would throw you in a mental asylum saying that you're crazy. How can you be crazy for saying that God spoke to you when the very same God told a guy to take his child up upon a mountain to sacrifice him? If you were to do that today, you would be locked up or taken to jail, saying that this guy is crazy. He said that God said he must take his family up a mountain and then make them drink 4 glasses of Coca-Cola before he cuts each one of their fingers off, or they would say you're crazy. You see, so it basically also makes you a hypocrite, because that very same story, if you take it literally, it's a problem, thinking that Abraham took Isaac to the mountain to sacrifice him. But if you understand the deeper meaning of what it is, Abraham, or Ab, means father, Abba. Ra is light. Ham means black. So Abraham basically means father. He's the father. He's the mind. He's the beginnings. Our Father who art in heaven, which is the mind. This is where it begins. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, which is the body, which is the effects. It begins in the mind and it manifests in the body. Sickness is in the mind. When you believe, this is what a placebo is. You could give somebody a sugar pill telling them that it will heal a certain thing, and they will heal because their own minds will convince them that, this is medicine. You can give somebody something that tastes like alcohol and say that there's 13% alcohol in here, and they can literally get drunk from just them thinking that that's what that is. So it's mental. Our Father who art in heaven, it begins here. So Abraham is the father. He's the beginning. The word Isaac, when you look at the word Isaac means joy. Now I'm going to break down one of the stories for you of Abraham and Isaac. The word Isaac means joy or laughter. So the deeper esoteric symbolic meaning of that story goes like this. God, higher consciousness, is telling you yourself, take that which makes you happy. Take that which gives you laughter and joy in the physical, in this illusion, because the physical, number one, is not real. When you die, you leave all of this behind. You began with the breath and you're going to end with the breath, because that's what you are. You are the breath of life. God breathed into man, and man became a living soul. So you are the breath, you are the spirit, you are that which moves on. Your life starts and ends with the breath. So all things that you acquire in the physical are not necessarily needed They are just a temporary experience that your soul can enjoy here, but they are not fundamental to who you are. They don't have any actual value when it comes to the true essence of who you are. You found these things here and you will leave them because they exist in the world of cycles. So, God, consciousness, Abraham is telling you, take that which makes you happy. Isaac, take him up on a mountain. A mountain represents the body, which specifically the head. So, climbing up the ladder of lights of Jacob. Take Isaac up to a mountain. A mountain represents a high point. The highest point in your body as the temple of God is the head. This is where enlightenment begins to take place. This is where higher consciousness begins to come about. This is Mount Sinai, where Moses got the 10 commandments. This is where Jesus climbed up to go get tempted. All of this happens here. This is where Golgotha, where Jesus got crucified. Now, take Isaac, climb up a mountain and go sacrifice him. So take all the things that make you happy here and let them go. The lusts, all the things that you think are important, the things of the flesh, these trivial things of the flesh, entertainment, all of these things, and take it up a mountain and then sacrifice those things for real happiness, for real joy. But mind you, that climbing a mountain is symbolic of challenges. Before you get up to that mountain, you will be challenged as you have to let go of all these things that you think are necessary. So it's not an actual story as you can hear. The word Isaac means joy. So Abraham, take Isaac, take the things that make you happy, that satisfy the lower mind, and then go sacrifice them. This is no different from the story of Jonah and the whale. They sent Jonah to Nineveh, and he went to Tarashishi or Tarash. So your own consciousness is saying, go to a specific place, Nineveh. I decode that to be Nirvana. And Tarashishi is actually what they call a tortoise, or what's this word for the lower dimensions? A Tartarus, which is the abyss. That's what I decoded it to be. I must still look that up. I was looking at the names. I was like, Nineveh, that sounds like Nirvana. So your own consciousness wants to send you to Nirvana, and you are going elsewhere. So, and it lets you, because Jonah did go with the sails and the winds, and his boat, which is the body, was getting smashed and pounded by the waves of the water, which is symbolic of all the troubles and the tribulations that you face when you deal with body consciousness. When you deal with body consciousness, you think that all these things are real. You attach to thoughts, to emotions, to people, places, and things. When your phone breaks, oh, hell breaks loose when somebody breaks or loses their phone. Because all of your energy and attention is there. When you lose your job, oh my God, what am I going to eat? When you're attached to your car, oh, God forbid they hijack you, God forbid, or because you are attached to these things and you think that they are you, when they're actually an extension of you. You make those things. You create those things and then you turn around and worship them. So those are the waves that just crash on the boat of Jonah. And once that happens, eventually it takes you over and you fall, and then you get swallowed up by the fish. And then you are now in the intestines, in the smelliness of it, which represents the lowest state that you can go. All the smell that was happening within the fish. And when Jonah was in there, he called upon God. When you are at your lowest, we tend to remember God there. And God holds no grudges, because God knows. This, like how I said, it's a blueprint story. The hero always descends and goes into the wilderness. And when he's in a foreign place, he remembers his father's house, and then he calls upon the one most high, and then he resurrects again. So it's one blueprint story. So now Jonah gets spitted or gets spat out at the place that he was supposed to be after he called upon the Father when he was at his lowest point. This is also the story of the prodigal son, the parable that Jesus gave of the son who lived in a very nice place, a very nice mansion, and then he said to his father, give me all my inheritance. And then the father gave him, and then he went to spend them, and he spent all of them. And now he didn't have anything left. So now he was feeding the pigs, and he was eating with the pigs. He was sleeping in barns and things like that. That's no different from Jonah in the belly of the fish. That's the lowest point. And when he was there, he remembered what? He remembered his father's place. He said that now I am royalty. Even the servants at my father's house are eating better than what I am here. And then from there on, he picked himself up from that lowest point, and he went back to his father's house, which is symbolic of you going back into your higher consciousness, your higher states. All of these stories are the same thing. Jonah in the fish for 3 days is Jesus in the tomb for 3 days. It's symbolic of you being in the fleshly body. Jesus said that take your cross, bear your own cross. Do you know what the cross is? The cross is the body. Your soul is crucified on the body. When you stand up like this and you close your legs, you will actually see that your body is a cross, which your soul is crucified upon. Once your soul incepts, or once your soul enters the material plane, spiritual amnesia, it forgets its divinity. And in forgetting its divinity, it's symbolic of you now being in the lost worlds, being in Egypt, where Moses had to go free the Israelites from the Pharaoh, which the Pharaoh represented the ego, and Moses represents that part of yourself that must free yourself from the ego. Hence, that's why when God kept sending particular, what do they call those things? The locusts. He kept sending different famines and all those things. And the Pharaoh was stubborn. That's the ego. That's that part of you that thinks that it's the body. It doesn't want to let go. It's scared of death because it identifies with the body. So the Bible teaches you how you can escape that. And it teaches you that in the book of Revelations, because in Genesis represents the inception of you. It's Genesis, it's the beginning, how you began, how you came about, or how you came about to be the Adam, the man made out of clay, basically meaning being made out of the materials of the physical world. This is what your body is made out of. What makes the earth is what makes your body. That's what it means that Adam was made out of clay. It just means that you were made up of material, of the material structure. You are Adam. You are the atom. Atoms, or the atom is Adam, because the atom is first. It is the building block of that which makes up the whole of you. Atoms make up molecules, molecules make up cells, cells make up tissues, tissues make up organs, organs make up the whole organism. It's layers. You are a being made up of layers of intelligent material. But you are beyond all of these particular structures. You are beyond density. You are a non-manifest being, as I said in the last episode, where I was talking about Satan and the beast and the fall, that you fell into the corporeal. You are a non-corporeal being that fell into the corpse, the carcass. You fell into the body, and once you fall into the body, spiritual amnesia takes place. You fall down the ladder of light. With Jacob, they say he rested his head on a rock, the rock being the head, the pineal gland, the third eye, and he saw angels descend up and down the ladder. That ladder is your spinal cord. but we're going to talk about the spinal cord in another video where I actually explain what actually is the spirituality behind the spinal cord. Because, as I said, the Bible is a book of psychology, and it deals with the mind. It deals with the brain. The brain, which is just the physical manifestation of the mind. The brain is what the mind uses, or the consciousness creates the brain so that it can use it as a tool to be able to function here. And the spinal cord is an extension of the mind. So thinking also takes place in your spinal cord, which is where your 7 seals of revelations are located. So the whole Bible is your body. The whole Bible is talking about how you as a soul are in the body, and you must overcome the body, which is hell and death. Jesus said that the last thing that I will overcome is what? Is death. Death is ignorance. Ignorance to your true divinity. Once you forget who you are, you begin to do things that are foreign to your soul. Now you might wonder, what is the purpose of this? Why are we here? Why did God create this? God loves us so much that our whole purpose, if you go back and watch the video I made about Lucifer, is that we are here in the body experiencing this physical world, so that by us witnessing what we are not and what we don't prefer, we can really begin to understand who we really are. By becoming what you are not, which is temporary, which is which ends, all illusions. By becoming what you are not, you begin to understand and understand what you truly are. By becoming and living and so-called thinking that you hate the next person, that you are jealous of that person, and you don't like those particular girls, and you don't like those particular gents, which are illusions, because everyone is you. We are all one body in Christ. The ego is what gives you the illusion that you think that somebody is not you. Everybody is you. What you do to others, do unto others as you would want them do unto you. Because what you do to others, you actually do to yourself. What my friend defines ego as, one of my friends says that ego is that aspect of God which creates a distinction between you and your other reflections, since we are all each other. We actually need the ego, but the ego must not control us into thinking that we are, that I am Mathix and you are you, and that's it. Nothing connects us. No, we are more each other than we are not each other. So he says that ego is that aspect of God that creates a barrier, or rather creates for there to be a difference, a differentiation between you and all your other reflections. Because without the ego, we would all just be fused into oneness as we were in the highest of states. So we travel down here to gain individualized consciousness, to be the Christ, the individualized soul that is part of the many. We are the one that is the many. And they say that the one is all and the all are one. That's true. Literally, we are one in the many, and the many are in the one. That's what the whole Bible is about. It's about raising the Christ conscious awareness within all individuals. All men, eventually, when they say that every knee in the end shall bow, it basically just means that everybody will come back to their true state. They will come back to their true form. And the only way you can do that is by understanding the deeper teachings that are in here. It says in John chapter 10 verse 34 that know ye not that ye are gods. To be a god means that there's a lot of responsibility that comes upon you. You cannot be a god and do things like just like ordinary mundane people. There's work for you to do. you are a super system. You are a supercomputer that needs decoding. There's things that you must clear within your mind. You gotta put yourself through psychological classes, through mathematical classes. You've got to re-establish yourself as a child of God. You have responsibility as a child of God. To be made in the image of God means that there's things for you to do, there's things for you to know. There's gifts for you to inherit. The heavens are for you to inherit, the stars and galaxies and universes beyond that. But right now you are still trapped in the body, in the cycles of reincarnation, dying over and over again, until you can learn, until you can know. You are not just this. In fact, this is the heaviest body that you have. You have multiple bodies, as I said in the last video. You have your physical body, your etheric body, your astral body, your mental body, your causal body, your celestial body, and you have bodies beyond. But you descended down these bodies, and with each descent, there was a loss of memory until you fell to the lowest point that there is, which is this body, the physical, dense body, which is existing alongside or simultaneously with the cycles of the world that it has incarnated in, which deals with seasons, summer, autumn, winter, spring, introduction, growth, maturity, decline. So all of these things are what you're experiencing, but you are beyond that. You are in time, but you are beyond time. You experience space, but you are beyond space. In fact, you are the source of space. You are the source of time. Time and space are elements projected from within you also, so that you can experience all of this, but you are beyond it. You are all of these characters. You are Jacob, who was betrayed, or you are Joshua, who was betrayed by his brothers and sold to a foreign land. This is the foreign land. You are the prodigal son who went away. You are Noah building the ark. The ark is your body. You are Jesus walking upon water, and you are also Peter who walked on water and started to doubt and fall in the water. Those are two aspects of yourself. One aspect being Jesus shows you what happens when you are calm as the Christ, as you walk upon the water and you are able to calm the storm. But then you are also Peter who walks on the water and then begins to doubt, and then you fall within the waters being the emotions. Water represents emotions. So when your emotions overpower you and they take you over, you fall in the water. That's the flood. That's the water that took Jonah's boat out. That's the flood. The waters must be calm. The spirit must be calm. Your emotions must be calm for you to be able to begin to perceive God at those levels. Know ye not that me and the Father are one? And then they wanted to stone you. Are one with the Father. And they will want to stone you, which is you. They are you. Your own inner psychology will begin to doubt, and it'll want to anchor you to this physical, but you are beyond the physical. You are the temple. You are the body. You are the star man. And this whole book is about letting you know that. In fact, let me just open up a random. Let's see. Let me just open up a random. We might land on something interesting. You never know how these things work. Because if I said that you are the Bible, okay, like just where my finger's pointing, let me see. When he reached the house and went in, the blind men came to him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" They said to him, "Yes, Lord." Then he touched their eyes, saying, "According to your faith and trust and resilience, oh my God, be it done unto you." And their eyes were opened. My eyes just got wet. Woo! What? Whoa! 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 Do you believe? As a man thinketh, so is he. The blind man in the Bible represents spiritual death. When you are in the body, you are blind because you are using your two eyes. It's not talking about actual physical blindness. It's talking about the blindness of the spiritual, your ability to see into the spiritual. Your spiritual eye has been shut down. So Jesus said, do you believe? By believing and by knowing, as a man thinketh, so is he, then this eye is able to open, and then you are healed from spiritual blindness. You thinking that you are your body, you thinking that you belong to this world. Be in the world, but not of the world. Be in the world, but not of the world. When you think you are of the world, you are blind. Because then you think you are physical, and that's not who you are. You are a spiritual being. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus earnestly and sternly charged them, see that you let no one know about this. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is the eye that Jesus was talking about. He said that let thy eye be single. When the eye is full of light, the whole body is full of light. The spiritual eye. So this whole book, it's a book that reads you as you read it. You can literally open to any verse and it'll mean something deep about you. Now about food offered to idols. Of course, we know that idols, you know what idols are? In closing, because I can read, like I will literally begin to like now want to read and be pointing out all the time. When they talk about idol worship, they say don't pray to any gods outside of me. That means your own consciousness. So you create a car, Aston Martin. Even though you don't create it like you yourself, but like another human created, and if we are one body, then you are the other human. We create cars, we create all of these things, and we begin to worship them. That's idol worship. We are worshiping the things created and not the one who creates the things, which is which is what God gave us. Because if we are children of God, then it means that we are and can do what God can do. So God being a creator makes us mini creators. All of us are gods, but all of us are God. Let me say that again. All of us as individuals are gods, but all of us together are God. One. And we create false idols and we worship those because we are blind. We are still spiritual babies drinking the milk. And we need to eat meat now. Higher truth, where Jesus spoke to his disciples in parables. I mean, he spoke to his disciples in a different way than he did to the masses, which was in parables, because they could not understand the deeper teachings. And those deeper teachings were secrets of how to awaken the Christ within, how to become God, or how to remember your own true divinity, how to remember that you are God, because you are already that, you just forgot it. And that's what the whole Bible is about. So I'm going to do a part 2 on the Bible, because the whole topic of the Bible is very deep. So for today, we're just going to stop it there. Thank you. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to the channel, as I said, so that you may get more videos in future. On this channel, we decode everything. Like how I said, this is the librarian's channel. We from decoding the Bible, we could decode animation, movies, children's movies, because all of those are basically also the same thing as the Bible within itself. Dragon Ball Z, everything. Once you open your spiritual eye, you see the truth behind it, that hey man, those 7 balls are the 7 chakras. I don't want to even get into it. I don't even want to get into that right now. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, 7 chakras again, the seven seals of revelations, the 7 stars, the 7 lampstands, the 7 spirits of God which you have within you, which deals with what different psychological states as you develop in the physical. Hope you have a great day and see you next time.